Okay, I realize with the title of this video, I'm not a schizoid YouTuber. I am kind of doing the thing where bands that have female singers sometimes complain about being labeled a female fronted band, and then they talk about all the other things they do and how they're different and blah blah. But technically, their front person is a female, so they are female fronted, regardless of what they want to say. So I realize there's an element of that because, yes, I have schizoid personality disorder and I'm a YouTuber, so I'm kind of a schizoid YouTuber. But to clarify what I mean like my entire channel is not a schizoid whatever. I'm not here to represent schizoids because I have more going on anyway. I'm not like pure schizoid. I also have depression and it seems like some dissociative issues. Still don't really know specifically what, but and also I'm a covert schizoid, so I'm not like your stereotypical example. So like how can I represent schizoids? That would be ridiculous. I just share a label with a certain group of people. That doesn't make me any kind of spokesperson. But I mean, like, my entire channel is not just schizoid stuff. For example, if you want a schizoid YouTuber, have a look at Schizoid Angst. It's literally in the name of the channel, right? Schizoid Angst. Whereas my channel name is DestroyerMariko, which, or Destroy America, as the little subtitles, automatic subtitles, sometimes mistakenly put, but it kind of fits the theme, especially of like, you know, where I was at when I first started, when I first came up with that name. But, you know, it has to do with my psychology, but not the part of my psychology that is schizoid. It's more the dissociation stuff. And, you know, sort of also applies to the way that, well, it applies to the way that I approach music because that dissociative stuff kind of pushed me in that direction with music. So much of what I do actually comes back to the dissociative stuff. So that's why I picked it as a name, because it says something really fundamental about me that's not immediately obvious to everyone, but I know. Yeah, so, but I'm not a dissociation YouTuber either, because I don't talk about it that much. Like, I did more when I started, but no, I kind of just do whatever. So, like, the thing is, why I'm making this video, I remember to show you my shirt. You guys are all morons. And when I am frustrated by some of my commenters because on the one hand, you get people who want the schizoid content and they only, actually probably both sides of this, just happen to keep seeing my schizoid content pop up because of the wonders of the algorithm. The algorithm has figured out that you only want to watch schizoid content from me, and so it will show you only the schizoid content. And then you think that's all I make, because you don't bother to check out the rest of my channel and realize I'm much more chaotic than that. I have no niche. I just do whatever I feel like. And it just so happens that because I'm schizoid and because I'm going through a lot of therapy and trying to work out myself, and I've always talked about my psychology on this channel, the topic comes up now and again. I'm not like intentionally trying to be a schizoid YouTuber, but on the other hand, I'm also not in denial that I have schizoid and in denial that it's a part of my life. So it comes up, but it's not everything that I do. And the kinds of comments I get, like on the one hand, there's the people who are either interested in schizoid or they at least claim to have schizoid. I can never be sure on the internet. And they like want to connect with me in some way because of the schizoid. They want more schizoid content and they want to give me advice. And then on the other hand, there's the people who don't like seeing mental illness content because of what TikTok and the kids these days have done, putting their labels in their bio as if it's like a point of pride instead of a serious mental illness. Although schizoid isn't a popular one, so the people who think I'm part of that crowd, like, if I have the dissociative stuff, why wouldn't I run with that if I was trying to be sensationalist and get popular? Like, you know, where's your logic, people? Schizoid is like the most boring mental illness you could come up with. The only thing that's interesting about it is that you rarely see them in clinical practice because they keep to themselves most of the time. I'm an outlier. I just blab my shit. Because, in part, you know, one of the criticisms is like, don't let your diagnosis define you. And I'm like, I'm fucking not. Look at the rest of my channel and you will see that I am not sitting on my butt whining about Schizoid every damn day. I am making horrible Taylor Swift content. And, I mean, that's the latest cancerous stuff I've posted. I post a lot of troll stuff. I also post bonsai, music, tech stuff, gaming stuff. I did even like a political Catholic blah blah the other day. Like, I'm doing makeup videos now for science, apparently. I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't think I ever knew who I was, but like now I'm like, really? Me doing makeup? What the fuck? Anyway, and another part of not letting my label define me, like if I was going to take the Schizoid label and really like make it my entire identity, why would I be on YouTube? Because Schizoids, on average, in general, the stereotype is they don't want to put themselves out there the way that I'm doing. And like connecting with the world, I mean, you know, am I really connecting with the world, or am I connecting with the webcam and the little text-based comments that come in that may or may not be people? They could be bots. Most of the comments I get, chances are they're bots these days, who knows? But, you know, the point is just that if I was going to internalize the Schizoid label, like some of you are concerned, whether it's people trying to be helpful who like the Schizoid stuff but don't want to, for some reason, actually give a shit about me and don't want to see me suffer, and they're trying to be like, don't let Schizoid define you, you can change. And then on the other hand, there's the critics who are like, don't let Schizoid, like, fuck all these labels, don't try and perform mental illness, blah, blah, blah. Whatever side of that you're on, and your reasons for telling me not to internalize the Schizoid or like make it my identity, don't worry, it's fine. You know who's trying to make it my identity is you people who only watch that kind of content. Have you seen my video that's like 50 minutes of ants? That's what prompted my channel trailer last year. You should go and watch that. There's nothing really Schizoid in there. And I have so much other troll content. Like, there's so much, and then there's other things that I talk about, like, you know, ranting about how I don't like AI, what we're calling AI. It's not what I call AI, but whatever. AI is such a brilliant marketing term for just like computing we already had taken to the next level. That's all it really is. The people who trust AI to do so much stuff. I mean, I also did a short showing like the AI generated replies. It wants to help me reply to people's comments, and I'm sort of like, maybe I should just let it, because the quality of some people's comments coming in is just like, and you know, the people who hate the mental illness content, they haven't thought it through really, because they're kind of doing the NPC thing. They've picked up from their people that this is a problem in the world, and so then they will label anyone doing mental illness content as part of that TikTok younger generation trend. And because I look younger than I am, they think I'm a fucking teenager running with that. I'm not. I'm old. And I'm so old my ID could get ID. Anyway, so there's a lot of those thoughtless people who can't tell the difference between me and some kid who has found a label and decided it's trendy. And then on the other hand, with some of the schizoids, or people who think they're schizoid, or people who are fascinated, the thing, okay, with schizoids, they do a lot of thinking, and then they think they're smart because they think a lot. That is not necessarily true. You can be thinking a lot and still have low quality thoughts. I've said this before. I've previously made a video alienating my entire audience, which was, I think that was more of the parasocial thing that I was complaining about. But now I'm complaining about those of you who think all I do is schizoid. I do not. It's just the algorithm showing you stuff. Subscribe to my channel and watch everything that I post, and you will quickly be like, oh shit, what is this? What have I signed up to? And unfortunately, people keep subscribing to me. And I'm like, you poor fools. And even people that I warn not to subscribe to me. And I'm just like, you realize I'm more of an old school YouTuber. I started before all the companies came in and started to sanitize it, and we could actually customize our pages, kind of like old MySpace. It was fun, being able to change all the colors, but now it's all this standardized, sterile. And YouTube keeps telling me to find a niche and telling me how to post consistently and telling me to make good thumbnails and blah, blah, blah. And I don't care. Like, it's fascinating to me. I do watch some of those YouTube strategy videos, and then I do basically none of it. Like, they tell you not to worry about tags these days, but tags were important when I started YouTubing, and also I'm a completionist, so I fill out all my tags. I think I have the vidIQ plugin, and I'm pretty sure that if you get it too, regardless of whether you make videos, you should be able to see the tags that I put in there, and every now and then I will write tags for the people who might be looking at my tags. Just a troll. Because if they're not important, I can put whatever in there, right? But I put other stuff. I put like legit stuff, just because it makes me feel better, not because it's good YouTube strategy. I'm well aware that it's not. Anyway, no, like, I get these comments, and like also the ones who try and psychoanalyze me, overanalyze me, try and decide what's going on in my head based on a few YouTube videos, especially the ones who've only watched one video and then think they get me. Fuck off. If you met me in real life, you realize the only time you see me on YouTube is when I'm talking to a camera. And I mean, I've had maybe like 1 or 2 videos where there's been a friend in there, but of course the camera is still on, and when the camera's on, it kind of changes the way that you talk and the way that you act, and you're kind of aware of the camera. I don't have any like proper candid stuff. The closest I have is filming myself having a breakdown, because like I had tried every other strategy to stop having the breakdown, and I thought, well, if the camera is on me, it'll change my behavior. And it took a while, but it did calm me down. And even just like having it on me, like, I was not sitting in my room talking to myself having a breakdown. That talking to the thing only happened once I turned that on. So you didn't even see what the breakdown was like before I started talking. Just my point being, you haven't seen my real life. You've only seen my on-camera life. Like, how many times, honestly, does society have to be like, oh, social media is so fake? And then you guys go and believe that everything you see on my channel is my entire life. And that I'm, like, you're not getting the full picture of my life. So calm down. You're not my psychologist. You haven't actually met me. You've only met a version of me. And stop thinking that you can fix me, or, you know, it's very rare that any of you have any useful advice, especially with depression. I've tried so many things for depression, and of course it turns out a lot of it didn't work, because I've got schizoid, and schizoids experience depression differently to most people. Yes, there is a pool noodle for those of you who've been looking at that going, what the fuck, that wasn't there previously. There's also like free shopping bags from a market I went to. This kid gave me like 7 of them, and I already had one, but he's like, we need to get rid of them all by the end of the day. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll take them. And then my parents took the rest. For shopping bags, why not? Free shopping bags, they're pretty sturdy. Anyway, never mind. What was I talking about? Schizoid bullshit, because apparently that's what you people want. Like, I do notice in the back end of YouTube, I can look at my analytics, and when I post schizoid stuff, that's when all of you people turn up. You don't turn up for, well, some of you turn up for everything, and then sometimes, especially when I post like a really cancerous short, it'll pollute people's feeds for a while. But the rest of you aren't watching other things that I post, so how do you even know what I post? You just assume all I do is schizoid content. Like, you know, with all the complaints about the algorithm, hasn't it occurred to you that maybe the algorithm is only showing you certain parts of my life? And you certainly aren't going back and seeing what I was doing before the schizoid diagnosis, right? Like, there's so many. I've been on YouTube for more than 15 years. 2008 is when I started. How many of you have gone back and watched that all? The only people I know, and you've also missed a lot of deleted content too, by the way. There's only a handful of people who have seen probably everything, and not too many of you. That was a while ago. So, you know, you don't know me. I'm not a schizoid YouTuber. I didn't put schizoid in my channel name. I have no intention of starting that. Like, of course, sometimes I put schizoid in a video title because I know it'll get a bunch of you in, and that seems to be what we want. But sometimes I also just post like life update or video blog and then date, or maybe psychology update. I don't always put schizoid in there. So if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss out on some of the schizoid stuff that you're waiting for too. Hey! So I like to mess with my viewers, because if I was being a real YouTuber, I wouldn't mess with you like that. But I'm just doing my own thing. I don't give a shit. But no, the other thing is, like, if you go and look at my channel description, I don't even mention schizoid. Like, it's a disorder I have, but it's one of the most boring things about me, because it's just like a disorder that makes me not want to engage with the world and sort of not have feelings that I'm supposed to feel. I've gotten good at simulating feelings. So, like, you know, I look pretty animated, don't I? But that's a lot of practice. And do I actually feel anything? And am I actually as annoyed as I'm acting? Who knows? You don't know. Keeping in mind also that I'm a performer. Like, yes, it's music and I suck at acting. I made a video about why I suck at acting, and I think it's to do with the schizoid stuff as well. But I have learned ways to get through social situations and blah blah. Because like I've always been in situations where it's been hard to completely withdraw, because like I've lived with my family for ages, and then going to uni, going to school, blah 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 blah. I have never really had that kind of total hermit job, and the only time I got close was working from home, doing some bullshit accounting stuff that you could use what we now call AI to do. And it always bothered me that they never trained something to just scan in all these documents and had to mentor a bunch of stuff manually, and my fucking brain was melting out my ears to do that, because I started dissociating. It was so boring, and I was just in like full robot mode. It sucked. Anyway, so that's the closest I came to having like a job where I can just keep to myself, but even then, still living with my family. I can't afford to move out. Blah blah blah, schizoid stuff. Yeah, it's a boring disorder. I'm surprised how many people give a shit about my experiences. Like, yes, I am working, trying to fix my psychology, because I hate having depression all the time. And well, you know, it varies in intensity, but you know, like the best I usually get is just like feeling nothing in particular. Not feeling shit, just feeling neutral. It's rare for me to feel anything above neutral. Even like, you know, in some videos, like when I've done review videos and I've acted excited and I'm like, oh, I really love this thing, it's because I know that's how I'm supposed to act. It's like, yes, okay, this is a nice fabric. I've got to have the energy and be like, oh, this fabric's really nice, kind of shit. I don't even know what the fabric fucking is. I don't know, and like when something's awkward, I just do an awkward giggle, because what else? I don't know how to react, but if I don't react, people feel uncomfortable, and I'm like, well, shit, I better fucking react some way. I'm not trying to upset people generally in my life, so, anyway, yeah, no, I think, like, I can guess that some people might watch my schizoid journey because they have schizoid and they're hoping that something I do might help them figure out how to make their lives better as well. But I don't know how helpful it's going to be. Like, maybe it gives a few people hope. But on the other hand, I am an outlier as far as schizoid goes. Like, I've done a lot of therapy. It was mainly aimed at depression, but I also tried a lot, and I think my propensity to try to change my situation is a bit different to what other schizoids experience. I think having depression at my level, that has helped me want to change, because like feeling shit all the time, I can go through even if emotionally I don't want to change because I think I'm fine, it's the world that sucks, but I'm stuck in this world. There's nothing I can do to change the world to make it something I would like, because that would be such a dramatic change. It's just not possible. So logically, the only thing that I can control is myself, so I've got to keep trying things and seeing if there's anything I can change about my life to make the world feel less shit and make my life feel less shit while I'm sitting around waiting to die, basically. So I keep trying because of logical reasons, but that's not enough for some schizoids, for a lot of schizoids, from what I understand, because a lot of them aren't changing. And like, this is the thing, you people are telling me don't make schizoid my entire identity and don't let it get me down and blah blah blah, but most of the people watching me, I am guessing, are schizoids who are doing exactly what I'm being told not to do. They've internalized their diagnosis. They're not willing to try changing. They think, oh, schizoid can't be cured. I'm not going to try and change my life. I think there's a lot of people watching me who are hoping for some kind of hope, but not actually taking action. I can't help you with that. You have to decide to change. If you hate your situation, I mean, if you're a schizoid who doesn't have depression, why would you change? But if you do have depression, and a lot of you do, you got to do something different. If you keep doing the same stuff, everything's going to be the same. You've got to actually go out there and, change your life to try. And now the risk is that you change something and it makes your life worse, and it's tiring, and, people suck and you don't want to be around people. But the fact is, we live in a society, we're a social species, and it's unavoidable. So the sooner that you get over that and just deal with people because there's no other choice, the sooner you can find more shit that's different to just sitting around at home or sitting around in some boring, repetitive, brain drain job. Or I don't know what. I mean, I'm sure there's some schizoids who have some interesting hobbies and are doing just fine. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones who are miserable and who aren't making any effort to change. I'm making an effort to change because logically, that's the only way I'm going to be able to improve things, especially because I have to stay alive because I'm too squeamish and risk averse. I don't want to end up injured and alive. As long as I'm physically healthy, I can deal with the mental illness most of the time. But if I was mentally unhealthy and physically unhealthy because I tried to end it all and I wasn't successful, that would suck even worse. And then you have people watching you so that you can't make another go at it. Yes, I am trying to speak around YouTube's judgment of certain topics, but you should be smart enough to know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, then you're one of those schizoids who thinks too much and the quality of your thoughts is poor. Or maybe you're, I don't know, maybe autistic and don't pick up on subtleties. I don't know. Now I am generalizing. Calm down. Not all schizoids, not all autistics. Fuck's sake, the internet and the people who just nitpick stuff and not really understand and then think that you guys are all morons. Come on. Anyway, is that everything that I wanted to berate you guys with? I don't know. I always feel like there's something else because I've gone on this big rant and now I can't remember. I did also have a teacup, but I already put it away because I didn't get to film this because Triton was hanging around and it's hard. He expects me to keep music on or be watching something, otherwise he comes and harasses me and is like, when are you going to do my night routine? So I'm filming. But I had my easily distracted cup because I am easily distracted. Oh my god. And also, one of the reasons I try to keep talking in my videos instead of having long awkward silences is because I know that you need to keep things going, otherwise the long awkward silences when people tune out, and I want to make sure you get to the end so I can talk about potato and so on. There was a Snapchat potato filter and I was almost going to do that until I found the Taylor Swift one and my brain ran away with me. But because I couldn't film this one, that's why I filmed the Taylor Swift one instead, because it was short and easy, whereas this one's not going to go up until tomorrow. How is this month so busy? That's the thing. I did wallow in some of the schizoid depression blah blah for a bit, but now that with dog, hard to do stuff, but now I'm trying to reclaim my life and trying to get back out into society, and it's made my life super busy. Oh, I think the last thing I was going to talk about is, so what motivates me? Motivation's such a hard thing, but what motivates me, whatever little motivation I have to change. Depression is one of them because depression sucks. I hate feeling like that. I need to change things to not feel like that. I can't just wallow in the schizoid stuff because it's not working. Nothing changes, everything stays shit. But I think the other thing that motivates me that may not apply to other schizoids, there's lots of fucking bits of fluff flying around. One of the things that might make it easier for me and harder for other schizoids is the dissociation stuff that I have, because that other part of me has been the part of me that has made me do things like music and probably made me start this channel too. There's just so many things that it has influenced my fashion. Not today, I am in slob mode, but like the more punk stuff, yeah, dark, black shirts, whatever. It's less influential today, but in that sort of late teens, early 20s when you're trying to find yourself. I had a big, like when I finally broke free from my conservative private Catholic girls' school, and started, we had a uniform, so I didn't really have to worry about clothes, but when I finally had to start worrying about clothes, pushed me into the dark stuff, that part of me. There was a point in my life where I was really badly depressed, and I was thinking, well, either I end it or I do something, and, regular me wanted to end it, but there was a part of me that was still wanting to get up to mischief, I guess. And so I actually quite consciously thought, well, if I don't want to live, but another part of me wants to live, I might as well try and find ways for that part of me to, I don't know, find its way, get what it wants in life, but in a legal way, in a safe way, because it has some outrageous ideas. And those of you who have been watching from the start would know some of that, whereas the people who've only been watching my schizoid content, since I started, I think I got my diagnosis maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I don't even remember at this point. But if you've only been watching me for that long, then you don't know about this stuff. And you think, oh, you might be getting a sense of hope from watching me do stuff. But I have other things going on in my brain. And I think that part of me, I guess, is not schizoid or not as affected by it. It's got its own, I don't even know. That has been a motivator. Like, that's one of the only reasons I've done a lot of the things that I've done in my life, was trying to find things for it. Now, of course, because I'm managing those things often go astray. And then, like, when I was on antidepressants and my brain was like, woo, that's how Rainbow Death Ray happened. And I don't even like rainbows and unicorns, but somehow that shit was my idea. I don't even know. I have dissociated into a third part though, and I think I was still a little bit in that mode when Rainbow Death Ray started. And then I've had like minor other little bits going on, but there's the main things is like my standard experience of the world, and then the destroyer part of my experience. And like, the destroyer part should give you a hint in sort of, this is why I have to manage it, because I can't get up to things that are illegal or dangerous, and that part of me is like, oh my god, how pathetic. But no, so I just managed that stuff, but the motivation didn't come from what I considered to be my regular experience. It came from some other part of me. So if you don't have that experience, I've heard that some schizoids do seem to have at least some kind of dissociative experience, and I was going to make a video about that, but I guess I'm still forming my thoughts. But if you don't have that experience of some other part of you trying to push things forward and, like, actually do stuff, and you're watching me for hope, maybe, not this hope, not my dog hope, but if you're looking for ways to help you, like, I'm not pure schizoid, I cannot help you. Maybe you'll get some ideas from me, or maybe you'll just be entertained, but I'm not here to help you in the way that I think Schizoid Angst and a few of them, they do want to help people who are schizoids, and they're all about community, which I find really weird, because schizoids and community, I'm really bad with, I don't like communities, and, like, people keep asking me to join, what is it, like Reddits and what's that, Discord? I don't even fucking understand Discord. It just looks like a chat. Like, I joined it once I did a job interview, and they had a Discord, and it's just seemed like any chat. Why is Discord specifically the one that everyone likes? I don't get it. But also, I don't want to join a group that's just full of a bunch of mentally ill people. Like I've got my own mental illness to deal with. I don't want to deal with everyone else's. I don't find anything relatable in what people, or like, maybe some of it's relatable, but I don't find anything helpful in people whining about the same stuff that I don't want to be I'm not part of the schizoid community. I'm just doing my own thing. Stop trying to make me join your clubs. Like, it's that short I made, viewers who miss the point. Like, even schizoids are trying to get me to join schizoid groups, and it's like, what part of schizoid, like, you're surprised that I don't want to join these things. My God. And some of you I don't think is schizoid. I think some of you are misdiagnosed autistic, or you're just self-diagnosing and you don't realize you have something else. Yeah, I don't know. The mental illness diagnosis is a hard thing. But anyway, basically, people. Do I need to say anymore? Just, I'm not a schizoid YouTuber in the sense of I'm not intentionally trying to make schizoid content or represent schizoids or give awareness. Like, I'm just talking about my life, and it just so happens that I have schizoid personality disorder, and it just so happens that it's relevant to things I'm going through in my life at various times. But it's not the only content I make, and it's not the purpose of my channel. And calm the fuck down. I'm still doing everything else and just ignoring the, like, yeah, it's a label that's on me. I'm not in denial of the label, but I don't care. It's just a thing that helps explain why I am the way I am, help me figure out the trauma stuff. Chill out. I'm not what some of you people think. So, like, I've actually had comments where people are like, oh, I see you as the female Schizoid Angst. Okay, cool, but that's not what I am. I make schizoid content sometimes, and then the rest of the time I'm mostly just trolling the internet, posting garbage content, posting my dog, and sometimes I teach you to cook.